You know, I've been thinking about it a lot. What kind of changes do I think would be game changes and will be beneficial for everybody who's currently complaining about the meta of the game? I got the answer. It might take. I'm JabhiM, four-time Red Bull Hit the Streets champion, three-time Capcom Cup qualifier. You know, we're gonna talk about throw loops, but I want to leave that to the end because that's like the most common thing that people want, or want to see changed. So I'm gonna start with drive rush. And I said this in season one. I said, on block, drive rush should not be +4. It must be +2 on block. So you leave on hit as is because you don't want to change the combo rules. But on block, it should not be +4. It must be +2. And what that does is that since this is +3, drive rush jab into throw is real. But with it being +4, you can jab this now because it'll be plus. If you change it to +2, it'll now be +1 because on block this is -1. So add +2 frames, it's going to be +1. Currently now it's +3. So which means that some drive rush buttons like drive rush crouch light kick is -1. So if you add the +2 instead of the +4, this is minus. It might gel into this, but there's no way some characters can do stuff like this, and clip below. So I think that will stop a lot of things, So even Ken, here's the biggest one, the biggest change that will destroy this character. Right now this is +2. If you remove the +4 on block and you do the +2 on block, this becomes 0 and you can challenge, which means it's not Ken's turn anymore. This will obviously be +2, which means he can't do this. Like, I mean, what am I doing? This is not real. Now, let's see. For Ken, this is +3. Again, this will not be real. See, that is +1. If he does this, it's your turn. Unless he's going to go into stuff like that. But if he does this, that won't work anymore. So, drive rush being +2 on block from +4 would be a game changer. You don't want to now. But the problem also comes is that if you do this and make it +2, so now if drive rush is +2, the problem comes with parry becoming buff because there'll be a moment of an incentive to do that. You see, because now you don't want to do that because you'll get jabbed. Now, when you're doing that, this parry defensive parry will become. Well, I guess parry itself is a defensive attack on that one, but parry itself will start being a more viable option rather than a DP. So it opens up a new level of how to play Street Fighter 6. So, but that's how I feel about drive rush in neutral. Oh yeah, no, that's about drive rush on block. That's how I feel about it. Now, this, for me, I hear people talk about the punish counter state. I don't agree with that, because this is already counter hit. This is already counter hit. What I would like to see is a bigger hurt box. Much bigger hurt box so that it's easier to check. And I saw a good suggestion that the button must come out a bit later, so people will start having to do drive rush from like this distance because of the button coming out later. But if you do it from this distance, you'll get checked even if I'm like a little more, even if I'm later than usual, So I like that change as well. I really hope they implement that. But that's only, and I saw the suggestion. Chris T actually made the suggestion, and he said only if it's coming out in neutral. You know, that the game must pick up that. But if it's like from this situation, you know, the body must come out later. But if I'm doing stuff like this, you know, if I do this, the button must not come out later because it's in the combo. You see. So I like that. I like that change. I like that one, and I'm really hoping they implement some sort of change for Drive Rush. Now, my other change that I really want to see is if I do this late, you know, Ken blocks. I don't get the punish counter. You know, I have to do it immediately, and I don't personally. I don't like that, you know, because sometimes you will miss it. You know, sometimes you'll miss it, and then Ken blocks. So drive reversal needs some love. You know, ain't no way you're gonna leave it as is. I really want to see some love for drive reversal, and it's basically a buff to defensive options. You know, so that's why I'd like to see drive reversal become a bit faster than currently what it is. Because you know, if I'm slightly even off, you know, I don't get the punish counter to show that it's guaranteed. I mean, to show that it's I got the crouch medium kick. So the change for this is drive reversal should be a 18 frame startup. Yeah. Like just 2 frames faster. If not, make it 3 frames faster. But that's all I ask for drive reversal. Now let's talk about throw loops. Obviously this is everybody goes through it, you know, and backdashing is an option, but the key thing is this thing over here, -4. I want this to be -6 or 7, you know, because I want throws being throw looping in neutral. I mean, not in neutral, in the corner to be a bigger threat than it, like to be a bigger threat to the attacker. But just something, so I don't want it, so what I'm saying is I don't want throw loops to be removed completely. I want them to still be in the game because you don't want this to be buffed. So with throw loops still in the game, I want it to go from a -4 situation to a -7, -8. You know, so +8 to the attack, or no, +8 is too much. So +6, +7, +6 at least. Okay, let's make it +6 to the attacker. No, +6. No, not to the attacker, to the defender. +6 if they backdash a throw. So that throw looping becomes an even bigger risk. You know, that you'll eat big damage if someone backdashes your throw. So there'll be a more incentive to wait for the backdash, you know, so to play a bit slower, you know, to slow down the game. I want that. And that's my only changes, you know. So you don't really, you still, like the risk reward is still bigger for both sides, you know, whether you're attack or in defense, but the risk reward is still big for either one. So I like that because it slows down the pace of the game. But guys, let me know what you think. There might be some stuff you disagree with. Let me know. Cheers, cheers.